the international stage.
Oh, that's a great note. Definitely agree on that because the fact is, when it comes to the patch note itself, this is a crucial point where how do you actually adapt even more so with the meta rising off? And we heard how Skylar said it could be a meta for marksman as well for this season. And this could be another case that SPS Opal Finals will see a different new gameplay to be put out. But ban wise coming in from both team, we got Hylos as well as Matilda been banned out by Evil, and Chip also been banned out by Bro Esports.
Oh, now look, these are all going to be pretty classic bans to kick things off. Side will once again have to deal with the question of, do I spend my bans to get rid of Suyo and Zusin? Right now, Suyo going to be already eliminated, whereas we see Evil getting rid of Hylos and Matilda because because Evil and a lot of Singaporean teams tend to play a little bit slower in the early stages. They want to deny heroes away from the opponent. That can really create pressure by invading and having high mobility across the map. Both of these heroes are capable of doing that, so they're just taking them off the board to be safe.
I like that idea. Definitely something that could put a really good standard on Evil Singapore wise. And Angela also been banned up. Also another support that is also a menace inside the gameplay. If either one of the players will be able to pick up, it's not going to be easy. Now, Pro Esport, they still have Jushin to be banned out. Will they actually allow it, or will they deny that Holy Trinity here into our round number 1?
As you see, a lot of teams have tried to experiment with letting this hero through, but the amount of control that Lantern Flare gives you, especially early on, even if she doesn't have the best mid lane priority, nowadays mid lane priority is not as important because you can have a roamer disrupt that lane equilibrium quite easily for you and then immediately rotate around to start causing chaos by pulling people away from their half of the map. Looks like Pro Esports will allow the Zusin through, instead banning the Phobius. So will Evil go for it?
Evil did go for it. I mean, it's already open, and you definitely will have that opportunity, even despite the fact that you might have a little bit of issue when it comes to picking up the players. But then again, the respawn coming in from Pro Esport, they're picking up Eve for the respawn.
I
And
really like
Hilda.
Eve and yep, Hilda, very popular now. Like we mentioned right when the stream started, used to be a bit of a flavor for MY and ID, but now everyone is playing her, especially with the recent buff to her skill 2 cooldown. She's just so oppressive at level 1. And with E, surprisingly, you didn't get to see a lot in the previous series. This is a hero that's been gaining a lot of ground for that real-world manipulation, being able to take control of big, coordinated team fights. And I think that's something that Pro Esports is pretty good at. They're able to find and make these opportunities happen. Having a big box to capture Evil, gonna be great for them.
Yeah, and not only that, they're gonna make sure try to counter out with the AOE, right? But we also have Evil will be able to pick up Alpha for themselves, and hopefully that would be one of the instigators that they needed with the Spear of Alpha to give a lot of the potential of team fights. Also will be a case, and not only that, they pair up with Gato Kacha, who can actually pull in all the enemies into his own area, and those are the things that Evil required the most. But Pro Esport also responded very wisely with picking up Nolan, who has such great mobility to fight it off.
One of the better aim assassins available nowadays to be able to match up against Alpha, since Suyo is obviously off the table. If you're able to take advantage of Eve and Hilda to slow down and maybe capture enemies, Nolan can come in and finish them off with a fracture quite easily. The extra movement speed also allows him to navigate around slower heroes like Zusin and Gatot, though he has to be a bit careful in his position in regards to that. Since neither team has picked up their gold laner yet, we are seeing Pro Esports put their focus towards banning that side, since they will have first pick in the second phase.
Ooh, and they only also banned out Harith, as well as 1-1 also been banned up. I like the fact that they're trying to actually thinning out the pool of the heroes itself so that they will have the least amount of choices to be picked out right now.
And because they banned Harif specifically, it does create the thought in mind that maybe Pro Esports wants to go for a 1-1 or a Claude, because these are heroes that might have a bit of difficulty against Harif in lane. So with the 1-1 banned out, we'll see if Evil decides that Claude may be a problem for them to get rid of as well. But with Moskov already gone, keeping as many scaling heroes in the pool as possible may be something Evil wants to consider.
That is very true. I mean, looking on the side of how Team Evil Singapore, they're doing a really good response to the side of Pro Esport. The question is, what are their not just say quite signature character they would like to pick out, and how they are very comfortable with the pools that are still surviving. Joe will be banned off right now. They're gonna actually deny it because the fact that they already have Hilda on the side of Pro Esport, and they're not going to allow anyone to pick out Jushin easily on that side. So those are the crucial points, that at least Jushin on the backline will still survive it out, and they'll still have someone to guard up and hold off any of those pickings to be made by Pro Esports.
And looks like Pro Esports will go ahead and grab the Natan. I personally feel like Natan is in a bit of a ridiculous state right now. He's able to do good damage early on, scales well with 2 or 3 items, and then late game he's able to just blink in and blow you up in like 2 seconds. It is actually ridiculous how much value he has across the course of a game. Evil gonna be focusing on CC here. With a Tigreal and a Zusin, they have a really good ways of controlling the team fight, even when there's a real-world manipulation on the opposite side. They'll go ahead and pick up that carry. Definitely not as popular as she used to be, and you would not logically expect to see her since Pro Esports only really has the Hilda that plays into her passive, but this could be more of a comfort situation.
Could be, but in the late games, if Evil will be able to give that leeway for carry to actually have a good space, to have their resources as needed, and with the wheels as well coming up from carry, it can slow things down from Pro Esport, because so far right now they have so much mobility. The heroes wise, they have so much space to actually cover ground, and not only that, they have Carmilla as into their own pick for the last one. This also gives them so much of a space that Evil Singapore needs to be really careful, and this is the reason why they picked out Tigreal, they picked out Gato Kaja. They want to actually conquer or even try to focus on a center of the ground that team fights can be pulled into their territory. But then again, can they do so with so much of the heroes that is very slimy and very sneaky that can move away from their own team fights? Snafa, what are your thoughts on this drafting?
I really like the Carmilla as a last pick, because this not only plays into comboing with things like the Eve and the Natan. Like if you spread that Curse of Blood, it's just so much damage being spread about. It also correctly identifies that Evil is a team that likes to fight as a 5-man. This is a team that habitually wants to all be together to get things going, and they have the heroes to back that up as well. So if Pro Esports are able to capture all of them in the big box and circle of death, that's going to be really rough for them.
Agree. I definitely think that this is going to be an interesting fight here for our second series of the day. You guys are watching Evil Singapore versus the team that is probably might have the potential to say goodbye or will have a chance to still survive. Pro Esport Cambodia. Who will it be? The first round is about to start. So far right now, everyone is contesting right on the mid lane. Coconut giving some damage onto PPP, but at the same time, they taunt straight to Sorry, I'm Felix, giving so much damage. Sorry, Felix had to actually pull away from those engagement. In the end, they do try to actually pick up PPP. Nope, not gonna actually continue on. Doesn't finish the counter-wise that they want to find.
All right. Oh, hold on. Still a little bit of a skirmish happening here.
Yup, it's coming in. Zuzu takes down the first blood, and Sorry, I'm Felix also take down the powerful. No, just when they thought that the scream was taken out, they ended up finishing off the 2 players of Team Evils.
Evil making a mistake there. There was no reason for them to be that far up on the map when they had already chased Pro Esports away from the Little Wanderer. They have a very bulky lineup. Yes, they don't have to worry about being picked off too easily early on, but their own damage is actually very burst based because until Marky actually gets some items, they're fully relying on this alpha to go in and dish out damage. And if he's already used all of his cooldowns, then Pro Esports just comes back in afterwards and finishes them off, no matter how tanky they are. So that is exactly what we saw there. Evil needs to make sure not to repeat that mistake, or Pro Esports will just take over the game.
Oh, that is like one thing that needs to be very focused on to the side of Evil's Singapore, because the fact is those are the certain things that Team Evil Singapore wanted to actually pull out into the team fights, but then again, the reason they tried to blow wrong and they were wasting too much of the time at that mid lane was the reason Team Cambodia was able to actually punish them. But at the same time, right now, if on the early stages, even the fact that they didn't manage to get those team fights into their hands, Staffa, your thoughts coming into the mid games, how is it gonna be like?
A mid game should still fall into Pro Esports, having the Curse of Blood with the real world manipulation, and then Nolan and Natan on top of all of that is just so much damage. And I already highlighted that Evil likes to play together. We even saw it in that first river fight. So many of their players pulled into the jungle to try and deal with Pro Esports, and then we're kind of slow to retreat as well. So if they continue with this habit of sticking together as a group, then they are just setting up for their opponents, and that cannot happen.
Oh, I feel like this is gonna be tough for Team Evil though, because if they continue on with this kind of same gameplay, they're gonna have a rough time continuing on round number one. So far, right now, I feel like if they keep on going in for the aggression, they want to actually go in the early scrimmage. Those are the crucial things they have to be taking note. Like how are they want to actually pull out, how they want to actually pick up, because they have Jushin, yes, they have the Lantern of Flare picking up one player, but one of these situation wise, if it's been denied with the mobility wise coming in from Team Pro Esport, those Lantern Flare is not going to do anything in their favor.
Yeah, one thing that Evil can try to play around is to go for pickoffs when Pro Esports isn't quite ready to fight together, because they actually have a really long CC chain with Sin and Tigreal together once they hit level 4. So if Coconut is able to get a big implosion setup, or if Sayla is able to throw people into Coconut, and then Ken is around to take advantage of it, Evil actually can win fights.
And it seems that Sora and Felix will be taken out by Powerful. Able to even get the first turtle in their hands as well is one of a really good move coming in from Evil. It's still not enough, but at least for now, they are in a really good strength or even the power level with the side. But RWM been put out here too close for Coconut. Had to pull away before becoming a casualty. But a really good move coming in from the side of Pro Esport. Try to contain them in that position, but still, it's not enough.
Very important that Coconut was able to get out of there as well. While preserving his flicker, he didn't actually end up having to use his battle spell to escape, because if he did, then he would have missed using it right as he hit this level 4 timing, which is when Pro Esports would be the least prepared for a potential flicker explosion play. So that's pretty good, but I like that Pro Esports is already starting to pull Super Red into fights to see if they can get farm onto the Natan as soon as possible, because this hero just scales like crazy. Evil has to be careful of that.
You will have to be really careful to see all the lanes that needs to be covered up. Marky, right down below, is trying to actually try to get the info is required on Super Red. But there you go, Tuzu takes down Powerful, and the Avatar of Guardian going in for the airborne of Tuzu as well as PP, but doesn't actually able to capture them. Now, trying to go in for the Lantern Flare, gonna pick PP off. Can he actually pick it up? Oh, unfortunately, wasn't able to do so.
Yeah, I really don't think Evil should have continued it. Even if they managed to pick up PP, they needed to back it off, because I'm pretty sure the Carmilla was just waiting for it to happen so that you could turn around with the Curse of Blood and just allow Sa to start doing some damage instead. In the mid lane though,
Oh, in the mid lane here, going to pick up sub, but Tuzu comes in for the fight as BP also joining in. And this is where Team Evil have to be careful and they pull away from those fight. But PP is overlooking to invade into the territory of Team Evil. Try to kill it, but Tuzu takes down the turtle in the hands of Pro Esports. So that's going to be one turtle in the hands of Team Pro Esports right now. But as the buff was trying to be contest, it wasn't actually trying to go in for a really big fight though. So they're actually being a little bit disciplined right now for Team Pro Esports.
Yeah, I also have a little bit of an issue with Evil's draft in the sense that they are mainly bulky setters, and then the sources of DPS are powerful and marky, both of which are physical damage dealers. So it makes it a little easier to itemize against them. Yes, both Alpha and Carry will have true damage built in later, but that'll take a lot longer to actually happen and that's the timing that Pro Esports are gonna go.
RWM been poked out right here. It's going to be Super Red trying to push in. PP takes down Coconut. Sa trying to have a lot of damage, but Super Red coming in for the backup. Takes down immediately powerful as well. And that's going to be the end as they manage to actually get another turret right at the top as well. With a really good cover up right here by Pro Esport, they still maintain a good position.
Yeah, these are the issues that I was pointing out earlier. Evil just seems a little bit too reactive, and Pro Esports is just willing to do things across the map. The macro play is good, and even though Tuzu wasn't part of the fight, getting a free tower up top, the rest of Pro Esports actually won that, despite Evil initially catching them out with a pretty good Spear of Alpha. The speed at which Evil responds and the draft that they are playing is not very suited toward dealing with the aggression of not just Pro Esports, but a lot of the other Cambodian teams.
This is not gonna be easy. Even Coconut try to find a way with that implosion, but it's still not gonna be easy though. But here's Super Red going in for the overextension. Marky pulls away. That implosion was put out, but Super Red comes in, takes down Coconut immediately, and Ken had to pull away. But this is gonna be a 3v1 situation. Ken can survive it out, but the turret is already out. This is where they gotta punish straight away Ken, and making another kill in the hands of Pro Esports. Double kill by Super Red.
Pro Esports is doing an excellent job of punishing Evil right now. They are separating them one by one because they know that Evil has a lineup that needs to wombo combo. If they take apart any member, especially of their frontliners, it becomes a lot more difficult for them to actually execute on it.
Oh, but we are gonna go in for another technical pause. Even though we almost see Powerful try to push in straight away to Pro Esport with the Spear of Alpha, but then again, we're not gonna see the continuity of that storylines because so far right now, we're gonna give a time being, a little bit of space for the players to get prepared. Even more so, they will be trying to find the solution to what the issue that they're going on or encountering at the moment right now. But going back into what has been going on for this round number 1 between Evil Singapore versus Pro Esport Cambodia, it is in the favor of Pro Esport. They know how to get it done. They didn't even had to actually go in for a full-on 5v5 team fights because they know how to pick one after another. Even with Sela try to actually use those lanterns to pick up one player, is still not enough because the mobility wise or the sleeky wise coming in from the team of Pro Esport is not enough for them to pull in for those team fights.
Yeah, this is going to be rough. I already expected that most likely Pro Esports would have the advantage in the early game, but they are really running away with the situation here. I think Evil needs to try and depend on some bad habits going on later because Pro Esports will always try to look for something and make it happen. So if they maybe overextend a couple of times in the mid to late game, especially when they're pushing into the base, then maybe Evil might be able to turn things around. But 7 minutes and it is already a 7k goal lead and the kill score is 10-1.
Oh, this is really rough for Team Evil. Tuzu already on the 12th level right now, and it seems that Marky is going to try to go in for 1v1. Doesn't manage to pull in, but Ken going in straight to slow him down. Doesn't manage, and even Sela going in for the Lantern of Flare, going to pick him up. Picked on straight away to gank to it, but Tuzu still survive it out. Look how amazing the mobility-wise coming up from Tuzu, even with denial of Team Evil to gank them up.
And that means that all the time Evil spent to chase him down was just completely wasted. That's 4 members who committed time and cooldowns without getting anything in return. They're gonna lose their mid tier 1 for this. They're gonna lose their bot tier 2 for this. Evil's reliance on moving together as a squad, and unfortunately the speed of their reactions is just not able to deal with pro esports.
And the fact that right now they're already down into the last layer of turret, except for the top layer who still have the second turret to still survive it out. But 20 seconds on the clock, the Lord is about to be spawned out, and this is where the fine line pro esport, are they going to actually try to contest those Lord and try to go in for the team fight, or else they will try to actually take down one after another. Now pushing in straight to Coconut. Coconut having so much damage, had to pull away. Can also try to survive it out, try to make sure that at least Coconut survive it out, but there's so much of damage. Marky coming in to push in to get damage to Sorry I'm Phyllis, but it's still not going to be enough. Team Pro Esport giving that leeway, giving all those ground cover management to the side of Evil to be very focused on the top, leaving Tuzu on his own with the Lord.
And it looks like he will be able to get it though. Super Red staying a little bit too long, does end up getting traded there. That's a shutdown. And Felix will chase down Sayla at the same time. Evil actually with the counter attack potentially.
Oh, coming in right now. Avatar Garden did pick up the one, but at the same time, it's not going to be enough. Looking for the cooldown at the moment right now. Looking for a way. Marky try to actually go in, but Tuzu on his own, solo pushing and just taking down turret. This is where the fine line of Evil, they're overextending themselves, or even too focused on the high ground. They didn't realize what was going on under their own belt.
Yeah, this again, we are seeing these bad habits on display. Evil likes these 5v5 fights. They have drafted for the 5v5 fight, but Pro Esports is just playing circles around them. Tuzu doesn't even need to be part of the ganks and chases that the rest of his teammates are doing, because they're actually pretty good in terms of a deathball strat themselves, and now they're just pushing in mid.
RWM picking up. Super Red takes down Ken. Tuzu takes down Marky immediately. And this is where the fine line, they clear out the turret of the mid lane. They are going in all 5. Gonna try to push in. Powerful to survive it out. Looking for the minion. And now it seems that Tuzu going in for Sela, but almost been tagged out. But Sela managed to pull away. Now that's gonna be the last turret of the day. They're going all out for the crystal. Coconut been put up, but Sayori and Felix gonna go in for the side of Devil. But at the same time, this is gonna be the end for the team of Evil Singapore, as the first win goes